I'm going from London, Hackney in London, to Dunwich, which a place I've never been to, in the on the east coast of England in Suffolk, and it is 113, 14, something like that miles to get there. And then when I get there, I'm going to dip my toe in the ocean because there's going to be thousands of other people there. Most people get the coach back or the train back to London, but I'm going to dip my toe in the ocean and I'm going to attempt to ride all the way back again. So we're doing a double done run. So we'll see. Yeah, so I'm in such a mad rush. I don't like. I'm not quite with it. Can everybody hear me? Let me know in the chat if people can hear me, because I just wanted to do this live stream so that I could share with you what my setup is, how I'm going to be riding there, what my strategy is, because I want to go through these things in my own head so that I can tick things off, and so I don't forget anything, or if there's something I haven't remembered, then I can remember it now before I have to go. So let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me. That would help. Let me know. But yeah, this live stream is just a quick one, because I've just set my bike up and I've got to go to Hackney in a couple of hours. So I'm going to eat. That's the first thing. So Zach says, dude, that is mental. Haha, I live in Bournemouth and I'm planning on cycling to St Ives. That's cool. Wow, yeah, 240 miles. So that's good. That's what we're talking about. Like anything over 200 miles. Yeah, it's crazy. Are you doing it over 3 days? That's cool, man. That's so nice to be able to take the time. I feel like I should do the same. Okay, cool. You can all hear me. That's good. That's good. Okay, wicked. So yeah, I've only ever done one ride over 200 miles, and that was from Yorkshire to London, and that it didn't even record the entire way. So this will be, if I complete this, 222 miles. If I complete 222 miles, this will be the longest ride I've ever done. Let's do this. Cool. So this is the route I'm going to be taking. Why is the ride so late? So it seems to be a tradition of the Dun Run, the Dunwich Dynamo, that it's done through the night. I'm not actually sure. I'll probably find out when I get there why they do that. I'm not sure. But everyone's going to be lit up like a Christmas tree, and yeah, there's going to be there's supposed to be like at least 1,000 riders all making their way to Dunwich at different paces, I guess. And this is the thing. One of the things I don't want to do is I don't want to follow someone's wheel and try and race, because that's what I always want to do, no matter when. That's my downfall. Whenever I try to pace something, so in my mind I've got a wattage of 200 watts the entire way in mind. If I'm following someone's wheel and and my ego like crowbars its way in, then I'm going to be fucked for getting back. So the strategy, I have to be disciplined. My strategy for getting there is to just stick to wattage and just tap it out. Because if I try and hold wheels, if I try and race anybody, then that's it. It's over. And really all I'm doing is riding to Dunwich, and then I'm going to get a coach back or a train. So I have to stick to my plan and be disciplined to not try and follow wheels. So that's what I'm going to do. 200 watts. So it's going to be kind of like a bit of an Everesting, that kind of wattage, and I'm just going to spin the entire time, try and create minimum fatigue. And I've got my fuel plan is just a bottle of sugar water, a cucumber, and mint, that I've left overnight in a glass jar of water, and I'm going to put that with some sugar, so it's going to be really nice and sweet cucumber water. And that's one bottle, and then the other bottle is going to be just plain water. And then what else? I've got some sweets, actually, some really good sweets. So I've got these sweets here I'm going to be taking these sweets. So these sweets are going to be good for maybe like a couple of hours of energy. And they're just, all they are is like, what does it say? We've got glucose syrup, sugar, dextrose, modified tapioca starch, modified potato starch, and then a load of just like natural flavourings. But these are going to be awesome. They're a bit like, if you know Percy Pigs, but they're like pineapple flavour and they're a bit sour, and they're going to be, they're so good. So good. So these are going to, oh, they smell amazing as well. These are going to be awesome. Eating those. And that's basically my fueling plan. And then I'm going to take maybe a couple of other sugary bars as well. Maybe something with a little bit of salt in, because I find that I lose a lot of salt when I'm sweating. And I think that's what kills me a lot of the time when I'm doing longer endurance rides. Okay, let me have a look at some of your questions, see what you can do. Yeah, good morning, Negev. Yeah, why is the ride so late? I'm not sure. I'm going to ask when I get there. Have I been following Mark from Beaumont? No, I haven't. Do you mean Beaumont the school? Because I went to a school called Beaumont. I haven't. Camping, never done endurance. Oh, awesome. Yeah, camping. Do you know, who knows Joseph Kendrick on YouTube? Another vegan cyclist. He is going to be doing the ride as well tonight, and I think he's going to go there and he's going to come back. But if he says if he finds a forest that looks sweet, then he's going to camp. So he's going to be looking out for a forest to camp in on the way back. But my plan is to get there and then come back again, like straight away. Just like dip my toe in the ocean. Maybe grab a shell from the beach or a pebble and then come all the way back. Oh, 80 days. Oh, that's cool. GCN. So the GCN are doing a video on Mark, 80 days cycling around the world. Actually, that's funny. I saw at Stansted Airport, they had the bike that he was using, I think, like a sort of stand. Yeah. Oh, in Scotland, that's where it was, in Edinburgh, Edinburgh Airport. Oh, cool. Oh, okay, I see, Zach. Yeah, yeah. Your parents just wanted to stick to campsites. That's cool. I would love to do that. I would love to do. In fact, I think I will do this summer some long ride, maybe like John O'Groats to Land's End, and take some camping equipment and stuff. I would love to do that. I don't just just full gassing it there and back. It's probably not as fun as camping would be. The adventure. Whoa! So this guy who's cycling around the world in 80 days is doing 240 miles a day for 80 days. That's insane. Do you know? So who knows a guy called Steve Abrahams who's doing the year time trial? And I've been following him recently to just try and get some tips, see what he's doing when he's doing his long endurance rides. And it's really interesting. It's insane to see his Strava every single day, and every ride was over 200 miles a day. It's insane. And not so much elevation, but the pace he's going is a hot pace as well. And yeah, it's interesting to see how he does it. But because to be honest, I'm really not an endurance cyclist. There's always something that niggles me when I'm on these rides that will make me go slower, and I don't know. I enjoy the discipline of endurance cycling because it's so. I mean, most of cycling in general is just to do with your mind, which I like. But yeah, I was going to say that. What about? Oh yeah, I've got a question for anybody watching. Should I put my TT bars on my bike? Do I TT or not to TT? And the only reason I will put TT bars on my bike is to create other kind of hand positions. Am I going to regret it that I don't put TT bars on my bike when I'm like 200 miles in? Because I know, because on previous rides when I've gone over, when I've gone over like 130 odd to 200 miles, my wrists from all the juddering in the road, they just ache so much, and it's the thing that's just made me have to stop because I can't put my arms anywhere else. And even if I just did my own sort of TT position where I hang my arms over the bars, it's just not comfortable enough. And I wonder, am I going to regret it if I don't put the TT bars on my bike? Right now, I've got my bike set up and I haven't put the TT bars on because I'm not intending to do it. But I don't know. What do you think? Should I put TT bars on my bike? or should I leave them off? Am I going to regret it? I don't know. But the setup on my bike is I'm taking 2 bags. So I'm taking a frame bag, like a triangular frame bag, and I'm taking a small bag, a saddle bag. And the saddle bag is going to have tools and spares in, and the frame bag is going to have fuel and a battery pack. So the battery pack is also going to have a cable that is going to be able to lead out to my light on the front. So I've got a high lumen light on the front and a really bright LED one on the back. And then I've got a quad lock on the handlebars where my iPhone is mounted. And I looked at the weather and it's not going to rain, so I think my iPhone should be able to be kept mounted on the front handlebars, and I'll be able to navigate that way. So I'll use my phone as navigation. Look at the riders of RAAM, RAM. Everyone has TT bars. So what's RAAM? Is that some kind of endurance cyclist club? Yeah, so, and Luke says, regarding the TT bars, best to have and not need than to need and not have. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you don't want to regret it. Oh, I don't know. I'm 50-50 right now. Just because, I don't know, I guess it's extra weight and they take up a lot of room on the front of my handlebars. But then when am I going to use them again anyway? I mean, or like, yeah, I don't know. Am I going to need them? The only other thing I'm thinking is that I've got gloves that have got really very padded a lot of gel padding in them, so that could help me with the vibration in the road affecting my wrists. So, oh, Race Across America, got yeah, okay, nice. So RAAM, Race Across America, and they all use TT bars. Yeah, see, okay, so this is the other thing. TT bars, you would use them when they're ideal. So using them in Thailand was ideal because there was so much flat, and so when there's just flat off into the horizon, it's so nice to be able to just that's perfect for having your TT bars for an endurance effort. But here in England, it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be up and down, and the roads are going to be really shit. I don't know. It just doesn't. Something about it doesn't feel right, but I don't want to regret it. But and like Luke says, I don't want to not regret them. It's better to have them than not to have them and then regret it. So after this live stream, I think I'll make the decision then, unless someone comes up with a killer reason for why I should have the TT bars. Hey, Hambini. What do you think? Hambini says, what do you think of all these YouTubers who ride around all day drinking coffee, going from one cafe to the next? Do you think they should get real jobs? Yeah, man, that's never going to be my content. I'm never going to be one of those YouTubers. I don't find it interesting. I don't find that stuff interesting. I want to. Very rarely do I learn something from those videos or get something valuable. So I want my videos to be informative and interesting and entertaining. But yeah, the bottom line is that every single video I want you to feel something from it. And a lot of the videos that you're talking about, Hambini, the other YouTube cyclists, oh shit, I just don't think. I don't know. I don't watch their stuff really. I only subscribe to them because their competition, maybe. I don't know. I just like to see what everyone else is up to. Danny O'Neill says, sugar equals cancer, so can you tell me why it's okay for cyclists to bang down the sugar and water? Cheers, geezer. So the reason people say that sugar is cancer is because every cell in your body, this sounds like a cliche now, but every cell runs on sugar. And so even cancer cells will run on sugar, and sugar is the body's preferred energy source. And it's also cancer's preferred energy source because it's your body. And that's why people correlate sugar to cancer. So if you feed cancer with sugar, then it's going to grow. And that's just how it is. But it doesn't mean that if you're a healthy human, you shouldn't consume sugar, especially as a cyclist, which I'm going to be doing today in a couple of hours. I'm going to be consuming sugar through the night, and then the rest of Sunday. So I'm thinking I should arrive in Dunwich for like 2 o'clock. and then probably stay until it's dawn, and then leave and head back and get. So it'll be like 5 hours each way, maybe 5-6 hours. I should really do it slower, so maybe I'll probably aim for like 6 hours, 6 hours there, 6 hours back. So we've got a couple of other questions. Oh yeah, Cycling Cam. I think Cycling Cam's cool. I like Cycling Cam. Yeah, his content's pretty cool. But I just feel like he's a mini cycling maven. Although at least he rides his bike. But yeah, we got some questions. Hey mate, couple of questions from Power of Life. Was the gradient of your Everesting hill tough? And what gearing cassette range did you use? Was it one of the toughest rides, would you say? So was the Everesting one that I actually completed, or the Everesting in Thailand that we got just over halfway with? Because the one I actually completed in England on Boxing Day in winter was 7%, I think, and I had a 34-32, and that's what I used like predominantly, and I was able to keep a cadence of like 80-90, and I would have ideally liked to have been able to keep a cadence of 100 all the way for 12 to 14 hours. And I think if I'd have had a 36 on the back, a 34-36, or maybe a 34-40 just to be safe, then I would have been able to spin for 100 reps per minute for 14 hours on a 7% hill. So from experience, 7% spinning at 100 reps per minute, you probably need a 34-40 would be safe. So I hope that helps. Let me know if I answered your question. It was the toughest ride of my life, pretty much. Yeah, it was one. The thing. Yeah, it was tough just because of the lack of daylight. Was probably one of the toughest things, and how cold it was. So don't do an Everesting in winter. It will make it a lot harder. And also Power of Life says, I did a tough ride today and used sugar water for the first time. It really helped me. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It will help you. It will help you. Like, I'm not going to be able to do this ride today unless I keep myself topped up with some kind of sugar. So, what's this? Cuba, 100 kilometers, 3K M up tomorrow. What's this? If you can elaborate, Cuba. But yeah, I hope I'm answering your questions. Let me know in the chat if I'm not. Just keep asking, keep asking. But yeah, I'm excited about this ride. I'm well up for it. I only heard about this Dunwich Dynamo a couple of days ago when I took these hats to Joseph Kendrick, another YouTuber, and he was talking about doing it. He was saying, what rides am I going to do next? And I didn't really have an idea. And he said, what about the Dunwich Dynamo? So this was just a couple of days ago. But I tend to like doing things on the spur of the moment anyway, so because then I don't have time to get nervous about it. So I'm just excited. I'm excited. Yeah, and I think I'm ready. I've got my fuel. I've got my bike set up to be about as endurance as it possibly can be. I'm going to be lit up. Not as much as I'd like. My bike is pretty black, and looking at it, it's just, yeah, I'd rather it be fluoro, to be honest. I'm definitely going to get a fluoro bike next time. But I'm about as lit up as I possibly can be with all the lights that I have. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else there is. I mean, yeah, just the strategy is trying to just tap it out, take it easy. Because I know that if I try and follow wheels, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to get to Dunwich, and I'm going to want to get the coach back. I'm going to feel like there's no way that I can carry on to do the whole thing all over again and go back to London, which will be really disappointing, and I'll regret it. So I just need to take this easy, have fun, and just chat with people while I'm riding, because there'll be another like 1,000 other cyclists, and just tap it out, get to Dunwich, like maybe stay for the sunrise, and then head back again. And that is it. And I'll be surprised if I complete it. I'll be surprised, but I want it. I want to get that 220 miles. That would be cool. Oh yeah, okay, so more questions. Hambini says, what tyres do you run and what pressure? So I'm running the Conti GP 4000 S2s, and I run them at around 100 PSI. And I'll run them at 100 for this as well. I run them at 100 pretty much all the time for whatever I'm doing. And they're 25C. And and I used to ride 23C, and 25C make a massive difference to the English roads. In Thailand, the roads were so smooth, having a 23C tyre didn't matter, but now the 25 just feels so good on English roads, which are a bit shit. What else have we got? Yeah, the Dunwich Dynamo is, well, it's going to be 350 kilometres return. So I'm not sure how many kilometres that is one way. It's half, obviously, but yeah, 350 kilometres there and back. So Patrick says, after 5 hours of cycling and eating sugary stuff, I don't want any sweets, so I sometimes go for some fries. Yeah, totally. You get sick. The biggest problem with fueling on long endurance rides is that you get sick of whatever you've been eating. So it's good to have a variety of whatever fuel you're taking, and that's another reason why I have the cucumber or some kind of infused water, just because it's way easier to drink than just straight sugar water. And yeah, just trying to have a varied diet on the bike while I'm cycling. So I've got like some sweets, and I've got a couple of like a few naked bars, a couple of other fruit bars and things. Basically enough calories. So this is where I need, if you know carb doping, Sean. He is like a cycling chronometer, where you could just ask him a food, and he'll tell you exactly. He'll break it down, the macronutrients in like a split second. He's the walking chronometer, the cycling chronometer, and I need to know how many calories I'm gonna need per hour, and I'm trying to fit on the bike as many sugar dense calories as I possibly can. So those sweets that I showed you, these sweets are really sugar dense because they're basically just like glucose syrup, but they're flavored really nice, so I'm not going to get sick of them. And that's what you want. You want a sugar dense, a varied sugar diet while you're doing an endurance effort. So Jerome says, "Good luck, man. Where are you going to start doing some? When are you going to start doing some races?" I know, yeah. I was talking to someone yesterday about doing races, and I don't know. I think when I've reached my goal of 5 watts per kilo for like an hour for my FTP, then that's when I'll go and test it out, doing some races and see what happens. Because to be honest, with racing for me, it is dangerous, and it can jeopardize my training doing races. Not for the equipment, and also for my body. If I crash, then it's gonna be difficult for me to replace stuff when it's carbon, and also healing up. I'm not gonna be able to get back on the bike again if I crash. So really, me not racing is just because of crashes, especially in crits around here. There's a crash pretty much every crit. So yeah, we don't want to be doing a Cavendish. So we got loads of questions. Let's answer some questions. People are saying good luck. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you, LD Cycling. Thanks for you'll be with me in spirit when I'm at my lowest ebb. Let's have a look at some questions. So, and Hambini asks, what do your mates think of your vegan diet? I don't know. I try not to go on about it. So I think I've gone through the phase where I went on about it to them to try and say, oh my God, there's this thing, the vegan diet. You should all do it. I think I've gotten over that now, even though I'm wearing a hat and there's eating plants. Nah, they all think I don't talk about it, and then I just try and lead by example, I guess. And then when something's normal to you, and you don't make a deal about it and you just get on with it, then I know other people don't really see it as something that's abnormal, so it's all good. I don't really look at their diet and go like, I don't know. It's just normal now. It's just normal. And they all just, they think what my mates think of me is that they think I'm on some health kick, and they just think I'm eating healthy. They just think what I'm eating is just very healthy. I think that's the broad brushstroke consensus of what my mates think. What lights am I running? So this is cool. So the lights that I'm running, the rear light. So I was going to do a review of all, because I bought all these AliExpress, these cheap Chinese lights and things, and bike parts. And I'm going to do a review of all these bike parts I've got. And the front light, this front light here, is amazing. This light from AliExpress. So in one of my previous videos, I've got all the links to these things. But this light is so good, and it was so cheap, and it lasts forever. It's perfect. And it's really heavy, well made, and waterproof. So this light, I definitely recommend this light. But the rear light is a piece of shit. The rear light is so shit. I've made it. This is funny. Hang on. Let's get this out. This is funny. So I took this light to Thailand, and now it's more gaffer tape than it is the original molded plastic of the light. So firstly, you see here, I can't really, yeah. So you see this here. This is where a button was. So the button has fallen out. The light stopped working. I had to dry it out and then gaffer tape it all back together again. So you can see here. So it's more gaffer tape than it is light. More machine than man. And yeah, so this is a piece of shit. And to be honest, you know, this is where you get what you pay for. And so I can't even turn it on because I haven't got my finger can't reach in there because the button's gone. So don't buy, like, you'll see in my previous video I had this light and the link. I'm gonna make sure that people don't buy this light because it is a piece of shit. Like, when it works, it's great, but it's gaffer tape. It looks like a cat eye copy. Yeah, it does, and it probably is. It's probably like they probably just use the same molds as cat eye. So we've got some other questions. We've got Power of Life says, I always crave bread on long endurance, and that's really bad for energy, I guess, when cycling. I don't think so. I think when you're actually moving, your metabolism will probably process anything as quickly as it possibly could. And I don't think it's... I mean, it's all going to turn to sugar in the end, and bread especially. You know, it's all just carbs. So bread isn't bad. It's only when you're not doing anything and then you eat like a big meal or something and your body just wants to rest, and so it uses energy in order to process it. But on a ride, you know, I think whatever you put into your body when you're on a ride like that is just going to be used to keep going. So Cuba says, on long rides, I go for dates and bananas. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say anything sugar dense and that you're used to. So you don't want to be putting anything in your body during a long ride that you're not going to be able to be used to, because the last thing you want to do is either have some gas or just have an upset stomach. That's not what you want. What else have we got? We've got some other questions. So Christian says, how can Froome go so hard on a TT being so skinny? I guess he just trains. I think he trains TTs, and he just knows he knows what wattages he can do, and just does it, and stays aero. And you know, just because he's skinny, it's all about blood volume. Anything to do with wattage on a bike is all to do with your blood volume, and he's got the best blood volume, and so doing a TT, he's still going to be able to go really fast. But it's just an advantage for him to be skinny when he's going uphill. He's definitely not going to be a great sprinter, that's for sure, because that's when you do need just muscular power. Oh, okay, so Eric says, are you taking a break during this ride, and also what kind of RPM do you expect to dial in? I want to do 100 reps per minute the entire way, and there and back, because that's my target, and that will create minimum fatigue. And it means that if I do 100 reps per minute there, then I'll be as fresh as possible, and then I can do 100 reps per minute back, and still be good. To then go again maybe tomorrow, or the day after, because that's the point, is just to create minimum fatigue by spinning. And breaks. In an endurance effort, it is the best thing to do is to take as little breaks as possible. So only when I really need to take a break am I gonna like refill my water bottle, or just refuel. Basically, my breaks will be to pee and to refuel, and that'll be about it, I think, unless it's like a mechanical or something. But I'm not going to take many breaks, because the less breaks you take on an endurance effort, the better, because you're just going to be able, like, you just don't want to stop. You want to keep going. It's easier to complete something like this when you just keep going. And you know that's that you can see that in like the Indie Pack and stuff. The people who are at the front are always they just keep going. They just keep going. You know what that there was like people having like 4 hours sleep a night, wasn't it? And they would just keep going. What else have we got? Oh, and Hambini says, what is your take on milk? I drink 1 litre per day. No way, Hambini, really? You mean cow's milk? That's crazy. So I would say with milk is that it contains hormones, it contains pus. I don't know. If you're a cyclist, you also don't want something that is going to be so anabolic. You know, it's going to make you heavier. You know, it's going to put weight on you, not only because of the hormones in it, but because it's got high protein value. And I don't know why you would need it. I don't know why you would need milk over anything else that could replace it. You know, there's nothing. The amount of calcium that you get in milk anyway, and isn't as much as you could probably get from broccoli. So maybe you don't like broccoli. I don't know. If you don't, milk will make you put weight on, and as a cyclist, you don't want to put excess weight on that milk is going to do, because milk is not going to do anything for you as a cyclist that something else could. Milk has negatives that other things with the same positives as milk has. I lost my track of the sentence there. Maybe I need more milk. But I mean, like, if it works for you, it works for you. But I know there's the same things you can get in milk that there are alternatives for, and without the negatives, without the weight gain. Hambini says, I'd rather chew a glass than eat broccoli. Yeah. See, the thing is with all this stuff, it's just a lot of it's just habit. Like, you know, you have a taste for milk, and some people have a taste for broccoli, and a lot of the time it's just breaking yourself out of a habit with milk. Because if you know that milk has negatives, and there's something else that does exactly the same thing as milk that has all the positives without the negatives, why wouldn't you switch to that and then leave milk because it's got the negatives that you don't have to have, especially for a cyclist, because it'll make you gain weight. So that's why I wouldn't drink milk. What else have we got? Loads of questions. How come some people can ride for hours without eating? So I guess it depends on how much energy they're using at the time. It depends on their metabolism. Depends on how they've trained. The more training that you do for an endurance effort means that your body will be adapted to doing. Your metabolism will be adapted to burning less sugar, or you could, because from one person to another, you'll be the amount of sugar that you'll burn. Your glycogen retention will be different, and how you train will change that as well. So it just depends on how their body uses the fuel that they put in it. But you're still gonna. Nobody can get around the laws of physics. You're still gonna need the fuel. It just depends on how your body uses it. Let's see, other questions. So Zach says, my almond milk has more calcium and B12 per milliliter. So there you go. I mean, people they fortify the plant-based milks with the same thing that milk would have in it, that cow's milk would have in it. Patrick says, eat pasta, rice, potatoes instead of broccoli. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you eat enough of a varied diet, there's just no way you would need what you can get from milk. Yeah, we got another question. Hang on. Do you ever get the urge to have a bacon sandwich? No, I don't. And this is the thing about habit. Like me eating bacon, me eating meat was all just a habit. But bacon though. It was all just a habit. I mean, just habit, and it was something that now I just don't crave it anymore. Because the thing is, your body will crave what it's used to, and that is one of the big reasons is because your body is used to processing that stuff. So if you just eat bacon sandwiches all the time, then your body has the enzymes in its gut to be able to break that down, and that is what you will crave. Your microbiome is so powerful that you have to actually try and like wean yourself off the stuff that your microbiome is used to, that the enzymes in your stomach and your gut are used to processing. So if I ate bacon sandwiches all the time, I would still crave them, and my body would feel like that is what I need, but you don't. Because now what I eat has changed, what I crave has changed at the same time, and that's all it is. So with the whole thing with eating plants is to take away as many of the negatives as possible for my body. In the beginning, it was to take away as many of the negatives as possible and just increase the positives. And so it meant breaking habits. And now that those habits are broken, I don't crave any of that stuff anymore. In fact, a lot of it disgusts me. A lot of the stuff, as in like eggs and stuff, I'm like, what was I doing? I don't know. Just I don't need it. It's kind of weird to me now. But it's all people's choices. It's all people's habits. Everyone's different. Let me see other questions. So yeah, I hope Hambini that answers your question, or like if it doesn't, just keep asking and I'll get there in the end. Maybe I need more protein. What else have we got? Got some other questions. What kind of time are you expecting to total for the ride? So for 350 kilometers, it will probably take, I mean, like 12 to 14 hours, something like that. When did I start this new diet? So you mean eating plants? I started 2.5 years ago, I think, veganism, eating plants. I just didn't feel very well, and I'd come back from a holiday from Italy, and all we ate was red meat, and I felt like shit, and I just decided that I was going to switch, and overnight I just decided that was what I was going to do. Take out the negatives and increase the positives. Cool, Hambini, I like this. Is a good question. Hambini says, have you got any tips for a 48-year-old cyclist to get 350 watts? 350 watts. That's sick. So what it depends on what wattage you're on at the moment. So in fact, I think on your video you said, what was the accurate FTP that you got? Was it something like 285 or something? Something like that. So to increase your wattage, you want to be training hills, is what I would say, or training a lot of resistance. Training a lot of resistance, because you want to, with intensity and resistance, that is the way that I increase my wattage. The fastest way to get results to increase your wattage was resistance, so hills, climbing, and intensity. And because the thing is, when you're climbing hills, your body strips itself of everything that it doesn't need and keeps the muscle. So you can get really lean, but also increase your muscle at the same time, doing resistance and doing intensity. So they're the two key things: resistance and intensity. So like, I know a lot of people who live in flat areas. You know, they'll do stuff into crazy headwinds, and that'll, you know, on flat roads, and that'll get them the intensity that they need. But yeah, intensity. Yeah. Okay. So Hambini says 285. So I increased my FTP in under half a year by like 30 watts, and anybody can do the same with intensity. So if you make sure that a lot of your rides include some kind of intensity where you're trying to aim to keep the wattage that you want, that's another key thing. Because at the moment, so I'm trying to increase my wattage to try and get through, to make 360 watts feel normal. So most of my rides, I'm trying to do, when I do an interval, I'm trying to hold that 360 watts for as long as I can. And so if you try and make normal that 350 watts, then that for as long as you can. So you don't have to hold it for the 20 minutes or whatever that you're trying to do an FTP test for, but just try and hold that 350 watts for as long as you can, and just keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that, making it normal. And then when that gets normal, then you can keep increasing it. And that's the way that I'm going to be doing it. And that's the way I've done it in the past. Intensity, resistance. I hope that answers it, Hambini. If let me know. So Power of Life says, how have you prepared sleep-wise? So sleep-wise, yeah, have I slept in the day? No, I haven't slept in the day. I've been, to be honest, my body isn't really prepared for what I'm about to do to it. I'm well slept, but I went on a ride yesterday and totally smashed my legs because I was out with some other riders and I just wanted to I just wanted to go fast, which I shouldn't have done. So my quads are a bit cooked. I'm sure I'm going to feel that when I'm on my way back from Dunwich. So I would take at least, if I was going to do this ride perfect, I would have at least taken a couple of days off the bike, or maybe just do some really low intensity efforts, which I haven't done. So, but sleep, I would get at least 8 hours sleep tonight, like the night before. Rest for today, and then I'm going to go in about like an hour to Hackney. And I just like don't even stand up today. Like I was all day today. I was trying not to even be on my feet. I had my feet elevated above my heart, so that all the water retention drained away from my ankles, so that I just totally rested. Got some other questions. Why do you shame people who eat meat as though they are bad people? I don't. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I'm just doing what I'm doing because I want to take out the negatives and increase the positives. That's all. And I know that's a weird thing to say. I don't think there's anything on my channel where I'm shaming people for what they're eating. Your cap hasn't arrived yet, Stephen. It'll be on its way. It'll be on its way. I've been so many orders. It's been pretty intense. So it'll be on its way. It'll either be packaged or it'll be in the post already. So we've got other questions. If one carry a surplus of weight on the bike, would it increase your power resistance? Yes, definitely. Yeah. Weighted is good, especially when if you're so with me, my hills in London are short, and any way that I can increase the resistance is going to increase my training potential. So if I increase, especially on a climb. So when you're fighting against gravity, the mass of the Earth, any weight increase is going to increase the exertion that you're going to be doing up that hill. The thing is, on flat, that's not going to work so much, having a weighted bike, because you're going to have the forward momentum. Okay, Hambini says I've answered this question. That's good, Hambini. Any others, just let me know. Let me know. Yeah. Oh, so James, you were going to do Dunwich Dynamo. So how come you didn't make it? What? You didn't make? Not enough sleep. So nutrition-wise during the ride, it's a varied diet of sugar. So different kinds of flavors of sugar, as dense as possible, because I've not got that much room on the bike. So as much sugar as I can carry on the bike. I've got one bottle of cucumber and sugar water with about like 100 grams in it of sugar, and then I've got a bottle of water, just plain water, and then I've got some sweets and some bars and things, just very dense sugary bars and things like that. But yeah, and you don't want to get bored of whatever you're being fueled by. That's the main thing, and have enough of it. But I'm probably going to be able to stop at some shops and get whatever I need. You know, we're not in like rural Thailand, so. What do I do for a day job? Hambini asks. So I'm like I hustle. I do whatever it takes. I used to be an artist, and then I turned into a developer. And I've run a lot of businesses and stuff. So I'm self-employed at the moment, doing development and doing YouTube. Yeah, whatever it takes, but mainly on the internet. What else have we got? Lots of questions. Keep it. James says, so he was going to do the Dunwich Dynamo. He says, keep it in zone 2 as long as you can. This has given me some decent gains in endurance rides. I got the idea from Paul Van Zweel, he's a pro. Yeah, That's a good idea. It's just the difficult thing for me is whether I can stick to that or not, because there'll be other people riding with me. Whenever there's other people riding with me, I want to chase wheels like a dog. I just want to chase. And so the discipline for me is going to be just sticking to looking at the power meter and sticking to that wattage. But yeah. James is not doing it because of work commitments. Haha. But yeah, I don't like. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. The only worry I've got is that that I bonk. I guess that I don't have enough fuel with me, because that, like, I don't know. I can just imagine that I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I just need to make sure that they're not. Yeah, no, that's the worry. I need to make sure that I keep topped up, that I don't let it go for such a long time where I'm not eating anything, and then it becomes too late. One of the biggest things with doing an endurance ride is that you make sure that you keep topped up all the time. You don't just go on like big binge breaks. You want to make sure that, like, every hour like maybe every 20 minutes or something, I'm popping in a sweet, or I'm doing something. It's just like the same with keeping hydrated. You don't want to get to the point where your mouth is dry before you start drinking, because it's going to be too late. And the thing is, it all builds up to the point where you wonder how it caught up with you so quick. Just like when I did the Everesting attempt in Thailand, it was so hot that I just couldn't hold on to water, and no matter how much I was drinking, like, I probably didn't drink enough in the beginning, and then no matter how much I was drinking later on, I was just losing it immediately. And so you just want to keep topped up. You don't want to have binge breaks. You just want, where you go to a shop and just buy everything and eat it all. You want to just keep topped up. And then also that means that you'll recover faster the next day as well, or whenever you're next going to be able to ride. So what have we? We've got some funny guys in the chat. You apply the power. So Zach says you apply the power at a different point in the pedal stroke on climbs because gravity. So pushing 360, for example, on a hill usually feels more difficult than on flat because of the inertia. That's funny. I think it probably feels easier on a hill. I think it's definitely person to person how it feels on a climb as opposed to on the flat, whether one's more difficult than another. Probably because of how they've trained, what they've got used to. So if I ride hills all the time, I'm going to be more used to riding hills. And for me, I feel it's easier to push higher wattages on hills than it is on flat for a sustained period of time. So I can push higher wattages uphill for a longer period of time than I can on flat. And I feel that that's a mental thing, that it's mentally more difficult for me to maintain a high wattage. That's interesting. James says, I find hills just as easy as long as I can keep my cadence high. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. There's something about flat, though, where because you can... There's something about flat where because you have momentum, it's another excuse for you to stop pedaling. Whereas on a hill, because I want to keep the momentum, I have to keep pedaling, so I just keep a higher wattage. I think that is what it comes down to, and it's mental again. James says he prefers bombing it on flats and descents. Yeah. I don't know. There's something about a hill climb that I love. Everything. So Stefan says, have you ever experienced an increased stomach acidity due to the intense rides? Asking because this is a severe problem for me. Stomach acidity. I'm sure it must increase when all you're putting in it is liquid carbs. But I've never experienced it to the extent where it's hindered my ride. I think another good idea with doing the cucumber water is that it just sort of tempers the sugar a bit. So that's another reason to do cucumber water with the sugar, just to mix it up a bit. Other questions? Have we got let me know any of your other questions. I've probably got to come off the live stream in a sec because yeah, not another 5 minutes. Because I've got a bit more work to do on the bike, and I want to be ready, mentally ready. I'm going to go and stuff my face with some rice. So before the ride, right now, all today I was just stuffing myself with pure carbs, so potatoes, rice, bananas, all that stuff. anything that I'm used to, that it needs to be digested and turned into glycogen. So my muscles now will be topped up with glycogen, but I want to be eating as much food as I possibly can before the ride that is easy for my body to break down and it's used to, so that it's ready on the ride. The more food I can eat, the better, to be honest, on an endurance effort like this. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to go and do in just a couple of minutes. So I'll give it until 1:45, and then I'll have a go. So please ask me your questions. Ask me your questions. Do you have any plans for an ultra endurance race on the coming years, or kind of a race? What kind of racing would I like? So definitely, I would love to do an ultra endurance race. So next year, me and Remy, carb doping, Sean, we're looking at riding across America. Not doing the Trans Am, but just riding across. So I'd like to. I'm sure I'll have a target for that, and we can say that that's a bit of a race. But that'll be cool. That'll be an endurance ride. An endurance race, I would love to. I think I need more experience first. I need more experience on the endurance efforts, because I'm still, like today is a bit of an unknown, and so that's why I'm excited about it. But I'm also, if I was doing a race, I would want to know exactly what I could do with no unknowns. So if I'm doing IndyPac, I've never done anything like that or anything close, and to be able to do something like that, I'd want to train, to make that normal. Or at least as normal as I could make it in the time that I would have. And there's too many unknowns for me at the moment, so I need to train more endurance. And my target at the moment, my goal is more to try and get this 5 watts per kilo, to try and get as fast as I possibly can. So, in the future, definitely, I want to experience everything. I want to experience everything that cycling has to offer. But at the moment, it's just not my goal. I just don't have the time to train to make endurance rides normal. So this thing today is just a bit of madness, to be honest. It's mad. So what else we got? So Teresa says, "Hi Ash, I don't know if you answered this already, but have the caps shipped?" Yes, yours, especially Teresa, has shipped today. Yours shipped today. There was a delay in some of the packaging, but they're either packaged or shipped on their way to you. So you should have your cap soon. I think you're in America, aren't you, Teresa? You're in Los Angeles. So you know that I've written that package out today. you know that I've written that. I think we're getting laggy. All right, I think we'll end the stream in a sec. But yeah, Teresa, your cap will be on its way. All right, cheers. Yeah, wish me luck. Wish me luck. Louis says, "Yeah, how about the caps? My bald spot is getting bigger." Yeah, this is perfect for covering a bald spot. Stylish. Where can you order the cap? Go to eatplants.cc, and that is a plug. Eatplants.cc. So yeah, www.eatplants.cc is where you can get the caps from. So yeah, if you've ordered a cap, it'll be packaged or it will already be on its way. So yeah, enjoy those. Someone was saying at the beginning of this live stream that I should create a place where everyone can send me their photos. So if you want to send me photos of you with your cap out on a ride or something, or wherever you are doing extreme shit, then send it to ash@eatplants.cc. So eatplants.cc is the place to go and buy the caps, and yeah, email me at ash@eatplants. So yeah, I'm gonna head off now and head off into the horizon, into the sunset with like 1,000 other riders heading to Dunwich, and yeah, fingers crossed. I pace it right, that by tomorrow you will see on my Strava, Eat Plants on Strava, 220-mile ride. Here's hoping. Thanks so much for watching, guys. There'll be loads more live streams soon. I've got loads more stuff that I wanna do live streams on. So yeah, save your questions for then, and I'll see you in the next one.